Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Vermeer Estate Revival. This is day 3 of our massive Memorial Day weekend wood cutting project. We've been down here working for the last couple of days with a 50-foot lift, a 6-inch chipper, a couple of chainsaws, all sorts of tools of destruction, and I've gotten a bunch of trees on the ground. We've got several more that we're going to try to get on the ground today and then clean up all the mess. We've got to get all the branches and everything fed into the chipper, and we got to get all the trunk logs and everything hauled down to the other end of the property and put in the wood pile. We've had my dad here and my brother Chad, and we've had Amber and the boys. Everybody's pitched in this weekend, lending a hand on this project. Let's take a look and see what we've gotten done so far and what we're going to do next. So here you can see where we've got the 50-foot lift staged in the corner of the property here. The pool right next to it. It's a little strange being 50 feet in the air and then going out over the pool. Not afraid of heights, but that kind of pushes things to the limit a little bit. So you can see all sorts of trunks sticking up here. There's one here behind the fence, one there on the hill, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trunks sticking up around the property there. We've gotten them down low enough now that we can just cut them from the ground and then take those logs and chop them into firewood length and haul them off. So those are all the trees we've taken down, and you see how it's really opened things up here. If you look down at the pool and then kind of up towards the sky, you can see there's now a lot more space here, a lot more light coming in around the pool, which is perfect. You can see we've got several more trees we want to tackle. So there's a pine here that is standing dead, and then there's another one next to it covered in ivy, and another one over here covered in ivy, and then one kind of hiding in behind this one covered in ivy. So we're going to take all those down, and again, that'll really open things up here, let a lot more light in, a lot more air in, and make it a lot less likely that junk's going to fall into the pool. We're going to leave this oak. You can see this thing, it's massive. We're going to leave this oak. It's a good looking tree, looks healthy, and it's sitting up on the hillside there, so it shouldn't be a problem, but the rest of this stuff has got to go. Neptune, he's hanging out over there in the shadows. He's got a couple of branches that have fallen around him, but thankfully nothing's fallen on him. There's a little tree there that's kind of protected him and kept him from any damage, so that's outstanding. So I'm going to get suited up, get my coveralls on, get the saw fired up, and get up in the bucket there and start taking some of this stuff down. My dad will be here shortly, Chad will be down in a minute, and we're going to get this job site humming again. Hang out with us today, and let's see what all we can get accomplished. Yeah. Well, after a couple hours in the bucket, I have taken down 2 of the big pine trees and reduced them to a pile of limbs and logs. So we're ready to chip those logs up. Chad and Dad have been working for the last hour or so down by the road, and they've been clearing a path from the mailbox post up the hill to where I'm working and cutting down a bunch of scrub brush and overgrown bushes and stuff like that and feeding those into the chipper. And then we'll have a clear path to drag stuff from the side of the pool down to the front so we can throw that in the chipper. Let's go check in on them. Looks like they're having fun. Got to get a big chunk into the chipper. And then get the little stuff down on the looking a lot better. I can see the mailbox road now. Walk around the edge here. Bushes have been here for years and years, but they've really gotten very overgrown, very unattractive. We talked to the neighbor and they were nice enough to let us check with them first. Man, it's really opening up over here. Chad and Dad doing a great job getting it cleared off.
This is day 3 of tree trimming. Chris is absolutely exhausted. He's just trying to get these last couple trees down. And then I'm going to make him take a break. I think there's this one and one more, maybe 2.
Well, Neptune just about met his Waterloo, didn't he, Dad?
Almost. Better drove him in the ground.
That treetop came out of this tree up here. Had a big dog leg in it, and a relief cut it, and then cut it on the back, and thankfully it dropped away from me in the lift, but dropped right across the fence and right between, just grabbed Neptune around the neck, really.
Just missed him banging him on the noodle.
Just about clocked him right on top of the head. He does not look impressed. Sorry, old boy. The good news is it didn't break his hand off, break his head off. It looks like it took one of the points off the tridents, but we should be able to epoxy that back into position. This is a monster limb.
Yeah.
Whole top of the tree, really not a limb. Okay, so we'll get back in there and cut that off of him. Well, that wraps up this episode of Vermeer Estate Revival. It's been a wild weekend of lumberjacking, 50 feet in the air on top of lift, cutting trees down. We cut down 10 or so trees on the back of the property that had gotten overgrown, dead, leaning out over the property, you name it. It was a real mess there. So got up in the top of the lift again and cut them down. Had the crew on the ground, my dad and my brother, Amber. They were working on the ground, feeding stuff into the chipper. It started raining a couple hours ago. I mean, just torrential downpour. Everything got soaked, myself included, my dad. But we got out here and we soldiered on. After the worst of the weather moved through, we kept on working. I just now wrapped up the last of the chipping and had, unfortunately, a bunch of branches fall down in the swimming pool with the frogs and the snakes. So I had to get my muck boots on and get down in the pool and use the pitchfork and a rake and everything and try to get those out of there. So it's been really crazy. I am just absolutely worn out. We all are. Can't wait to go home, get a shower, and relax for a little bit this evening. This Memorial Day weekend has not been necessarily relaxing at all, but it's been very satisfying. Very happy to see so much progress behind the house here. Let me show you exactly what we got done. So you're looking at the pool, of course, and the property that was behind the fence here used to be covered with trees. Now it looks like a tornado's come through because there's a bunch of trunks still sticking up there, but I cut them down as far as I needed to with the aerial lift, and now I can just take the rest of them down from the ground. So you can see we really laid waste to all this stuff Unfortunately, all these pine trees and these poplars and everything had just gotten overgrown. There's the one that was leaning out over the pool, had the big dog leg in it. But all these trees had gotten really overgrown, and it was a real mess. So we just decided to cut them all down. We're going to plant some ornamentals or some faster growing evergreen trees back here as a privacy screen between us and the neighbors. But as you can see, we just really opened this place up. Old Neptune, he survived. His trident unfortunately got a crack in it, so I'm going to have to contact the Henri Studios folks and see if we can get a replacement trident. We may be able to glue it back together using some epoxy, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to find all the pieces. I haven't recovered any of them yet, so sorry about that, Neptune. But yeah, we'll see if we can get a replacement for him. I know they still make the statue, so hopefully we can find the pieces that we need. If you look here, you can see down next to the road, all those big bushes that were so overgrown and hideously ugly are gone. And so now you got a clear shot down to the road here, much more light and bright. And then all along the fence here, behind the fence, and then up onto the hillside, we just cleared all this junk out. So it's been a really productive weekend. Like I said, everybody's worn out. It's been hot and humid, and it's really been tough conditions working, but extremely satisfied to see so much of this stuff gone. We'll get down here and do some cleanup the rest of this week and finally kind of wrap up our lumberjacking activities. Thanks again for tuning in. It's been a great 3-day weekend. We got a whole lot accomplished. Appreciate you guys following us. Please be sure to hit that subscription button so you don't miss a single episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. As always, leave us a like if you would, please. Like what we're doing here, have questions, comments, leave them below. And please be sure to share the channel with your friends and family. We'd love to get some more subscribers and keep spreading the word about what we're doing here at Woodmere Estate. Thanks again, and have a great evening, and we'll see you again real soon.